Okay. Get back to it. Oh wait, I have flight here now. Yeah, boy. Yeah. And I think once we've done this quest, let's quickly grab that because it's the last bit of the map that I don't have. Once we've done this quest for the MSQ, I think we can then unlock the next allied society. And yeah, so we'll do that, and then I don't think we're going to unlock a new area, but we've still got half of Clusia, where Yulmore is, and half of Armoreng to unlock and get access to. If I remember right, I think we're going to go to Armoreng first, because Yulmore is kind of the antagonistic force at the moment. The recent events plainly warrant further discussion. I think it best that we wait until Alphino and the others are present. Emet-Selch included. How convenient that he should choose this moment to keep to the shadows. Well, no matter. For the present, we should return to Fanau and make certain of the Yulmorians' withdrawal. After that, Slitherbow. The Blessed are no doubt elated by what has become of the sky. You're returned, and unharmed, I see. Indeed, I'm pleased to report the Light Warden is no more, thanks in large part to you. But the death of a single Sin-Eater should make such a difference. As our numbers waned, so too did our hope that the ruins we've devoted our lives to guarding would ever find purpose. Yet here you are, the allies for whom we have waited these many centuries, and with your arrival came the chance to pass on our legacy, the ancient wisdom of the Empire. That alone would have been reward enough. Never did we imagine it would serve to banish the light that pervaded these woods. On behalf of the V's, our forebears, and the late Emperor of Ronka, you have our deepest thanks. It is we who should be thanking you. Our journey through the Katana Ravel proved most enlightening. To be privy to such knowledge is an honour, one for which we never hoped. Please, you need not be so humble. We but do our duty as decreed by the late Emperor. Would that he were still with us to express his gratitude in person. But sister, does this not mean our duty is fulfilled? To our allies, perhaps, but the ruins cannot be left unguarded. So long as we live here in these woods, the secrets of Ronka must not fall into the wrong hands. Is Runar still here? No. We escorted him back to Slitherbow shortly after you set out. If you'd returned to the Knights Blessed, we'll not keep you any longer. I suspect you'd be glad. They would be glad of your company. Thank you, Almet. I look forward to a day when we might share a more leisurely visit to the ruins of Ronka. We will await your return then. 1 second. Okay. You have an idea for channel point rewards since I want to lose some weight, maybe some push-ups or squats or planking. So that was part of the idea of doing those like fitness-oriented streams was that channel point rewards and things like that would be something that could be used to change the type of exercise I'm doing, make me, because it was using an exercise bike, because that way it's easy to still like green screen because I'm sat in more or less the same position. Because the issue with doing stuff like push-ups or sit-ups or planking is that all happens on the ground. You wouldn't be able to see it. Fair enough, I do have multiple webcams now, so I could potentially set one up to look down at the ground, but it would be a bit of a janky setup. And to be honest, it's kind of more reserved for when I have a cat and I find the place that the cat likes to stay in the office. Hopefully it likes to stay in the office. And being able to point it there so that there's a cat cam. That's the current idea of what I want that second camera to be for.
Ah, you are returned, and none the worse for wear, I see.
I'm glad to see that you're all right.
About us. What became of the Umoran soldiers, more importantly?
They turned tail and fled at the sight of the night sky.
Good.
Children of the everlasting dark have also retreated back to Woven Oath. Try as they might, they could not deny the truth of their own eyes. The sunless sea of heaven, full of love and grace, where none need know pain or suffering. In that moment, when the sky's light began to wane, I knew our prayers had been answered. That we were doomed to face oblivion at life's end no longer. When first we met, I harbored certain suspicions about you. Now I see that I was right. You are the bringers of shadow, the warriors of darkness, the saviors for whom we have prayed for so long.
I suppose you're not entirely wrong. But we are not worthy of your reverence, nor have we any desire to be worshipped. If you would pray, pray for your children, that they may one day know a better world.
I will do as you say, but please, let us at least hold a feast to celebrate your victory. You deserve that much.
I'm sorry, Runam, but there is still much to be done and scant time in which to do it. We must go. All of us. For we share the same path and the same fate.
So be it. I I ask only that you hold us in your hearts, as we would hold you in ours. Now and ever after. By the boundless dark, this I swear.
Lion boy loves cat girl. Tale as old as time. That then... Okay, no, that's not unlocked it. So there's still a few more quests. Okay. Out of the wood. I mean, well, that sounds like it's gonna... This might be the last quest in Raktika. Though it pains me to leave, it's time I returned with you and the others to the Crystarium. Before we go, might I speak with you in private? I'll await you in my chambers. Inky. Oh, wait. No, it is here. Oh, okay. It's just... Oh, because, yeah, it's the Crafter and Gatherer tribe. Thank you for coming. I thought to keep my suspicions to myself, but after witnessing your victory at Raktika Falls, I fear they prove true, and so I must share them with you. You're dying. From the first, when we met at Fort Gon, your ether has appeared tainted, suffused with an overabundance of light, not unlike the Sin Eaters. When you defeat the Light Wardens, I fear the light which poured forth from it was not negated by Hydaelyn's blessing. Rather, it was absorbed into your being. Urianger also suspects as much, though he's unwilling to share his thoughts on the matter. One thing is certain. With every warden you defeat, the danger to you grows greater. Greater perhaps than we can imagine. If you begin to feel anything strange, anything at all, pray, inform me at once. We should hurry, before the others begin to worry. Once I've sorted my things here, I will join you. Okay. Is it not Crafter? Is it Gatherer? It's Gatherer. Okay. Maybe let's not do that as Fisherman. Oh, hello there. You're the sweet young lady staying with Master Matoya, are you not? I've been meaning to thank you for looking after my boy that one time. His name's Valen. You remember him, don't you? He's always running around with his friend Quinfort. You know, the one who so much enjoys hearing the sound of his own voice. Like just moments ago, he rushed in here, then went dashing off, shouting about how he'd made a discovery of staggering import over in Fanal. Valen, bless his heart, went running after him. I know these parts aren't as dangerous as they once were, and Quinfort apparently has made some friends among the V's, but still, can't help but worry. Would you be so kind as to follow after them, and make sure Valen doesn't get into anything over his head? You can tell him his mother sent you. Ah, fuck this, I'll just... Just teleport. Oh, they're right here. Hello! For the last time, Quinfort, would it kill you to actually explain yourself before you go dashing around the forest like a madman? What nonsense do you speak, Valen? The Keeper of Whispers would never be so insolent as to keep the gods waiting when they would share with me their wisdom. By the mere notion's preposterous. Blasphemous, even. Hi guys. After, what are you doing here? My mother sent you? Dear heavens, I'm sorry for dragging you into this. As you might suspect, Quinfoot's ranting and raving about the will of the wood again. When he ran off shouting about prophecies, I simply had to follow along to make sure he didn't get himself into any trouble. The V said we were welcome at any time, of course, but wouldn't it kill the man to be a bit more circumspect? Oh, that reminds me. Whatever happened to that squirmy little fellow that Quinfoot, or for whatever ungodly reason, believes to be the great serpent of Ronka? Does it still travel with you, or did it get squished somewhere along the way? What ignorance is this, Valen? The Divine Protector has returned to slumber in its nest deep in the heart of Rakatika, from which it speaks to me in my dreams even now. Scream! Are you sure about that? Oh, Great One! Is it truly you, returned to grace your loyal servant with your presence in this time of need? Truly, the wood has answered my pleas. If the great serpent has been with you all this time, I can only imagine what sort of dreams he's been having. And yet, as skeptical as I am, the V seem to put stock in his visions. There's even a hint of truth to them. Who knows what we're in for? I know, my good friend, for I have seen it 1,000,000 times in my visions. This venerable forest is on the verge of entering a new age of harmony. For the great serpent shall let out a mighty cry, and in so doing summon forth they who do serve great Ronka in the times of Eld. Verily, the arrival of the heirs to wisdom, ancient and true, is nigh at hand. Now is the time. We must follow where the great serpent leads, and in doing so lay claim to a great future. Quinfoot, not again. I'm sorry to impose, but would you mind helping me go after him? There's only one path forward through the forest, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. Oh, he really didn't get all that far, huh? Or are you... Okay, we're just trying to find him. Look, over in that flower bed. Someone's there. My words. A rat who speaks. Who are you and why do you trespass in our sacred forest? Answer me, or we'll be dining on rat stew this night. Ye gods, oh, do have mercy. I assure you, yes, most assuredly, that we come in peace. Put down your arms. If my visions speak true, and I have never known them to speak otherwise, this mousy fellow and his diminutive companion are none other than descendants of a proud Ronkan tribe of old. You're from Slitherbow, yes? One of the so-called Knights Blessed. There you are. I swear, Quinfoot, do you take pleasure in driving me mad? Forgive my friend here. He simply cannot control himself sometimes. I promise you I'll give him a stern talking to when we get home. Now, Quinfoot. Friends of the ally of Ronka, are you? You are quite bold, or quite foolish, to rush forward before the spear point of a V's as you do. And who or what is this one? I've not seen him nor any of his ilk before, and yet you say he is a descendant from a proud tribe of Ronka. Most assuredly so, for I did foresee his coming in a vision granted to me by none other than the great serpent itself. stylish serpent. Scree! I love his hat. Scree, scree? Look, father. There's two of them. Queequern? Here? You may have a crush on the pink hair guy. On the pink hair gay. I mean, you can hope, Misty. You can hope. A key what? I fear you must be mistaken. For this is understandable, though. After all, my people have lived in hiding for generations. Few, if any, of those on the outside are familiar with our kind. Alas, how far our noble tribe has fallen. A most auspicious encounter this is. For a friend of the great serpent is a friend of ours, yes? Pray, my good sir, do enlighten us to the name of your most ancient and venerable tribe. We are the Kitari. You call us an ancient and venerable tribe, and I cannot deny that we are very much that. Kitari? That is a name I have heard from my elders, and yet I was told the last Kitari vanished 100 years ago. Those of us born after the flood never paid the stories much heed, but you say that we truly stand before a Kitari in the flesh. However it may be, it is clear that the ally of Ronka and her friends mean us no harm. Let us put down our arms. But yeah, with the pink hair, he does look kind of twinkish. I mean, I think it also helps that he's not wearing much of a top. Father and I have come in search of a great artifact of our past. Great stones buried deep in a cave by his father's father's fathers. How many fathers were there again, father? Scree! Chakal, have you forgotten your manners? It would be untoward not to introduce ourselves to our honoured new friends. I am Kital Natal of the Kitari, and this is my foolish child, Chakal Quotal. Do forgive us for our impropriety. Yes, do forgive us for our impropriety. For nigh on a century, our tribe has made its home in the shadow of the light, deep in the forest on the far side of the Katana Ravel, by the rushing waters of Raktika Falls. We did not always hide in the darkness. This place we now stand was once our home. Then came that fateful day when the skies were flooded with light. Facing certain doom, our forebears fled the forests, not before a band of the bravest gave their lives to store away our greatest treasures for safekeeping, with the hope that one day their children's children might unearth them anew. These are the artifacts of which my son spoke, the Kitari Stellae, mighty stone monoliths, engraved with the accumulated knowledge of our people in its entirety. Of course, it's precisely as I saw it in the visions the great serpent bestowed upon me. A proud and ancient tribe of scribes and scholars, the stewards of knowledge of ancient Ronka. Oh, you're most insightful, my friend. Indeed, we were once known as the Stewards of Note, a title that fittingly describes both our duties as keepers of written knowledge and the surprising aptitude with which we pursued the task. Our ancestors served proudly as scribes and scriveners for many a generation of Ronkan emperors. It is a role that came quite naturally to our people, for you see, we are not blessed with the longer lifespans of your kind. Thus, from our earliest days, we have been most meticulous about recording the happenings and learnings of our lives in precise and painstaking detail. The Kitari Stellae, or more specifically, the carvings and etchings that grace their surface, represent the summation of all knowledge and wisdom we've acquired over the years. They represent, one might say, the collective memory of our people, passed down through the ages from generation to generation. Long have we dreamed of returning here to search for the stones and reclaiming our legacy, and yet nasty, nasty sin-eaters and worse stand in our path, making the journey far too perilous to even attempt. Then, one day, the skies turned dark. I trembled in terror, but next thing I knew, the great serpent was hopping and squirming beside me. He told me that a path through the ravel had been cleared, and we were free to go home at last. Precisely. So it was that my boy and I received the blessings of our fellow Qatari, and became the first of our kind in generations to return to this part of the Great Wood. Unfortunately, we were immediately set upon by all sorts of nasty creatures, forcing us to retreat and ponder our course of action. Where we came upon you, threatened you at spear point. Pray forgive us, allies of Ronka. We knew not who you were, nor all you had suffered to arrive here. You intend to remain here in the Great Wood to search for these stellae of yours, was it? Worry not. We shall tell all in Fanau of you, that you are friends, and not to be harmed. And with that, we must be on our way. Go in peace. Dear me, that was a close one, wasn't it? I was all but certain Chakul and I were going to end up skewered. Were it up to me, I would have left the boy behind for his safety, but he's ever a curious one, and would hear nothing of it. I'm not a child anymore, Father. I'm all of 3 summers. 3? Why, when I was 3, I could barely walk straight. I do not doubt that is so, good sir. But for our people, the oldest of whom would be lucky to see 20 summers, Chakul here is almost a Qatari grown. But enough about us. If I might change the subject, you know your way around the Great Wood, yes? I have reason to believe that our forefathers buried the stellae in a cavern that extends deep into the mountains, near the Oxdalan Gap. Perhaps you might be willing to... Scree! Come, Father. We must follow him. But of course, it all makes sense now. It's the great serpent who guided you here to us. And now, together, we must heed its clarion call. Say no more. Great stewards of Ronka, it would be our honour to assist you in your noble cause. This is most kind of you, good sir. In that case, pray, allow me to oblige. Let us follow where the Great One leads. You don't remember anything until you were about 6. I have some memories from when I was about 4, but those are the earliest ones that I have. Like 4 for me is when I started actually thinking for myself, I guess. But I have a older brother by nearly 8 years, so it's also around that time that he started secondary school and puberty and everything like that. So he was a little fucking shit when I was a kid. Father, could this be the place? Let us see now. The mark on the cave's entrance appears to be an ancient Ronkan ward. This is promising, and yet problematic. Allow me to explain. We Qatari worship Ox Dalan, god of the dead in the world below. Our forebears no doubt believed that if they sealed away the stellae deep within the bowels of the land himself would watch over them and keep them safe until the day their descendants returned. Most fascinating. Your knowledge of Ronkan traditions impressive indeed. However do you manage to know so much, despite your chronicles of history being lost to you for so long? Many ruins can be found near Raktika Falls. Within the wood we have called home since the flood. We have made an effort to explore and excavate them as best we could, that our Ronkan roots would not be entirely forgotten. A most admirable goal, and one near and dear to my own heart as well. For you see, I'm one of the Night Blessed, who travelled to these parts after the flood. I too have a deep personal interest in the beliefs and traditions of the ancient civilization that once flourished here. In fact, I've done extensive research looking into my own ancestors. Was pleased to discover that I can trace my lineage back to none other than the great sage Dawatl himself. After he is a true ally of Ronka. Why, as the V's tell it, her coming was foretold by the last emperor himself. Descendants of Ronka and their allies reunited across the years. Oh, joyous day! This meeting must truly be a gift from the Great Serpent. I can vouch for After here. She's the very woman who drove the Light Warden from these lands. As for the descendant of the Great Sage, what's his name, I suggest you let at least half of his ramblings go in one ear and out of the other. Could it truly be? But yes, our hero stands before us. We watched your battle in the Ravel from the shadows. The moment you struck down that beast of light, we knew that a new age was nigh. Oh, never have I seen such gallantry and valor. I saw the battle too. Never have I seen such valiantry and gala. At any rate, my good sirs and madam, I'm keen to begin the excavation. But I fear it won't be so simple. The warding seal here bars our entrance, and we'll have to find a way to break it if we hope to proceed. If what I have gleaned from my research is correct, this will require an object of immense arcane power, a relic that will speak to the seal and convey the Qitari of return to claim what is ours, an object imbued with the mystical energies of the forest itself. Yes, an object with the glow of the great wood, as you always say, Father. I shall find it for you. Your enthusiasm is admirable, Chakul. Let us not get ahead of ourselves. This is a perilous place, and I have no intention of seeing you get snatched up by some terrible beast. And so I turn to the hero of the Ravel and the son of Dawatl. My good sirs and madam, might you know of someone who could aid us in our search? Trust me, I'm a miner. Oh, lucky day. Clearly you're not merely a hero on the battlefield. There is something about talking, specifically reading stuff out loud, that makes me yawn recently. I'm not even that tired right now, but it's just something about it makes me yawn. I know that some people have connected yawning to a need for oxygen. But the issue is that when I yawn, I'm generally breathing out rather than in, so I don't know how true that is. Now I've mentioned yawning, I'm going to do it more often as well. Clearly you're not merely a hero on the battlefield, but a warrior of many talents indeed. We'd be ever so indebted to you if we could impose upon you just this once. Yes, we would be most indebted, my good sir. Or was it madam? Father, I can never tell which is which. Enough prattling, Chakul. We must find a way to open this portal at once, that we might summon our fellow stewards here and begin searching for the Stella in earnest. O ally of Ronka, Kitari Nuttall of the Kitari bows down and beseeches you. Will you lend us your aid and help my people reclaim our long-lost legacy? I promise you the debt will not go unpaid. I realize I ask much of you, and so soon after we met. Needless to say, pray, take as much time as you require to consider our offer. Should you be inclined to offer your strength and wisdom to us, just say the word. You're just tired. You've had some hard nights. You're not wrong. Last night was the first half-decent night of sleep that I've had in a while. So, that's very true. I'm hoping that I can get another decent night of sleep tonight, because that would help a lot. And then I'm going out, meeting up with someone for dinner tomorrow. It's not a date or anything like that, but yeah, that should be good, to have some good food and talk to someone. Get out of the house. I'm happy to meet you, to greet you again, my good madam. What say you? Have you given any thought to my entreaty? Ally of Ronka stands with you. You have my pickaxe. Powerfully spoken after. Truly, this shall mark a new dawn in the annals of Ronkan history. As the great sage is my witness, I say, let the Kitari rise to glory anew. We are truly in your debt, ally of Ronka. I entrust the vital task of finding an object with the glow of the Greatwood to you. As for where to begin your search, leave that to me, my long-snouted friend. Did you mayhap notice that the serpent your dear Chakul brought along has a rather distinctive pattern of scales on its most exquisite body? I have reason to believe this pattern will indeed lead us to what we seek. Scree! Hark unto the serpent's cry, and know that the points of light that glow amid the stripes represent those precise spots where the ether that flows through the Greatwood is most densely concentrated. Behold, here in the northwestern reaches of the blind forest of Ixmaya, conveniently marked by this slimy little scar, we can see what is doubtless a convergence of sorts. If anywhere, it is there we will find a specimen of sufficient power to breach the seal. Oh, if the son of Dawatl says it's so, then surely it would behoove us to pay heed. When you return with the relic, pray let Chakul see it at once, and have my boy gain first-hand knowledge of the wisdom of his forefathers. Okay, I need to, unsurprisingly, mine something. Oh wait, I think I've overshot it. I was going toward the unspoiled node instead. Around here? Yeah, around here. Shimmering quartz? Yeah, that's the thing I need. I only need the one. We'll unlock the Qatari, but then we'll continue with the MSQ. I can do the dailies off camera, like we did for the other allied societies. And that will only leave us one more allied society in Shadowbringers. You've returned. What's this? Do I see something glowing on your person? Why, it's beautiful. Oh, thank you, sir, madame. Or was it madam, sir? Now, father says I need simply point it at the door and... That is a hole. My word. It opens. Oh, splendid. Splendiferous. Splendiferous, indeed. Look, father. The seal is broken. It has, Chakul. It has. And with that, after 100 years... we stand on the verge of reclaiming our legacy. But our task has only begun. There will be digging. Yes, much digging. And delving. We must relay the triumphant tidings to our tribesmen and summon them here to assist in the excavation. Yes. From this day, the stewards will not rest until a new page in the annals of Qitari history has been writ. Do not worry, father. I'll work as hard as any steward to reclaim our legacy. Oh, sir, madame, after. You'll help us in our quest, yes? So I guess it's kind of like a burrow or den. And suddenly there's lots more of them. Sealed tight for a century, the door to the ancient cave now lies open, and the Qitari excavation effort can begin in earnest. Good, after. You must meet my mother. Mother will be running the camp and seeing that everything is in order. Isn't that right, mother? Yes? My son speaks true. Reclaiming our history is about more than grand discoveries of ancient artifacts. There's much more that must be done to ensure we can go about our daily lives in this place. And so I would call upon you for aid from time to time, if you would not be disinclined to help us. They're very well-spoken rat folk. Will the steward's excavation effort succeed? Will the lost stelae of the Qitari return to the light, that young Chakul might one day know the wisdom of his ancestors? Or are ancient secrets destined to stay forever shrouded in darkness? Only the gods know. Scree! I love the fact that that great serpent is basically dressed up like Indiana Jones. And now I can buy things from them as well. What do you have for sale? Probably not much yet. Yeah, basically not much. Okay. That's cool. Like I say, I'll do those off camera because if I do those today, with there not being a stream tomorrow, yeah, Friday stream we can do both the Pixies and Qitari first reputation up. I really do need to think about what the what the next weekend stream game should be. Barbie World? Fuck no. We took one last patrol of the perimeter. All things considered, Slitherbow remains relatively unscathed. Thanks to the antidote, all those who were poisoned will make a full recovery, and with the night sky returned, their prayers have at last been answered. Sorry to keep you all waiting. Shall we be off then? Art thou certain this is best? I'll not deny there's a part of me that wishes I could stay. For 2 years I have lived with the Blessed, learning their culture, even going so far as to adopt Master Matoya's name as my own. I but pray I did honour it. Now's not the time for doubt or hesitation. Come, we must return to the Crystarium. Aye aye. Oh yeah, I could start the Crystalline Mean, which is the similar to how there's no class quests, there's role quests. It's a similar kind of thing for crafters and gatherers. Doki Doki. I do have it. I think I have the plus version that I got for free from something at some point. But that's just me talking for like 6 hours. Like if I was gonna do a visual novel styled game, it would probably be after work streams or something like that. Just because I wouldn't want to do more than a few hours of it at max. I wouldn't want to make like an entire day of playing it. All things considered, it's hardly surprising Alphino and Alizé have yet to arrive. Where's the Exarch? My friends! 'Tis good to see you all again. Alphino, it has been too long. I assume your presence here means you've brought word of the Warden hiding in Raktika. Found and slay, you say? I should have known. Ulmor has but recently dispatched soldiers to all corners of Norvraan to defend them. I'm glad to see their efforts were wasted on the Greatwood. Speaking of Ulmor, what came of your meeting with Vorthri? Yes, about that. It proved to be... Ugh. Exarch, you mustn't push yourself. Your time away from the tower has clearly taken its toll. No doubt you are all tired as well, having travelled so far. Why don't we all take a much-needed rest before we discuss our findings? I thought to propose the very same. After your clash with the Warden, you deserve a chance to recuperate. Settled then. We reconvene after everyone's had some time to settle in. Mortal Shell. I do have that. Yeah, we could play that. A Souls-like might be good, to be fair. Welcome back, miss. Your room's been ready-made. Care to retire? Pray you sound sleep and present dreams. Oh, I pray you sound sleep and present dreams. I was a bit confused by the wording for a second. But yeah, we've got Mortal Shell. I also at some point need to play. Why are we just posing? Oh, I guess we're examining ourselves for the
There's a light
light.
sealed inside you, is there? You wouldn't know it from the outside. You look the same as you ever did to me.
And what if that changes? What if it overwhelms me?
I'm damned if I know. It's not as if I can lift a finger to help myself, much less you. Have faith in your friends, look out for them, and hope that they look out for you. What more can you do? Think he was telling the truth? Emmett, I mean. All that rot about Hydaelyn being no different from any other primal. If so, what would that make her blessing? Are we just slaves to her will? Let's pay him no mind. Lies the Ascian stock in trade. Villains, heroes, all a matter of perspective, they'd have you believe. One man's fond memory, another's waking nightmare. Me, I'm no saint or savior. Just another sinner. And I know damn well I'm in no position to judge. When I saw the people of Slitherbow look up at the sky and celebrate the return of the dark, it felt good. It was moments like that that I cherished. Much more than the thrill of adventure. The quiet after the storm. I always took comfort in that.
I am very much so a creature of comfort. Meanwhile, in Garlemald, I enjoy those quiet, peaceful moments that you can spend with loved ones. Quite often a lot more than the sort of exciting bullshit. Gaius? And Estinian.
What did the scouts have to report?
Estinian be looking good.
Several skirmishes, but nothing of consequence. The fighting seems to have taken its toll on both sides.
A stalemate, then. The Alliance has done well to hold the line for so long. But then they did have Ishgardian reinforcements.
Nevertheless, neither side has any appetite for a prolonged engagement. 'Tis but the calm before the storm. And should the Empire choose to bring their full might to bear?
To say nothing of Black Rose. All the more reason to hasten our search. How close are your people to identifying our next target?
Close enough, though I have received some troubling intelligence. One of our generals posted to the Alamegan front recently disappeared without trace from the battlefield at Gimlet Dark.
Odd. Dead seems unlikely. Fled less so. I wonder where he'll turn up.
Were I a betting man, I would say here, in the capital. Not that any deserter who valued his life would contemplate returning, but a corpse might, given the right encouragement.
In the manner of his royal remains, you mean?
Elidibus plainly has no need of a new host, so the question becomes who? It may be that another player has joined the game. Something to consider at any rate. But come, there's work to be done.
So are we saying that Elidibus isn't possessing Xenos' body anymore?
These bloodless games make for poor sport.
And this is the one that speaks like Xenos.
Nay. I am a stranger to him in this body.
Okay, so confirmed it is Xenos.
There is but one hand that can make me whole again. My enemy. My friend. I know not what entertainment occupies you, but if you will not clear the way for me, then I shall seize the reins of fate once more.
Yep, just laying there like a corpse again. What? Why the music? That's not good music. Journey to the past. That's a scary fucking face. Ah, I suspected that you might be awake. I could scarce imagine you sleeping through such a commotion. An entire host of Sin Eaters appears to be advancing upon the Crystarian. Emergency measures are being taken as we speak. Rest assured, however, that we're safe so long as we remain under the Crystal Tower's aegis. You may return to your quarters if you wish. I thought you might feel that way, and I cannot say that your assistance would be anything less than welcome. I must remain here to disseminate information to the other residents, but you are under no such obligation, and thus free to aid any of the townsfolk who may be in distress. The Exedra tends to become a point of congregation in times of need, crowded with those seeking solace and companionship. You would have my personal gratitude if you would offer succor to those there. Oh no, you got your pick leaked into the game. Could you imagine having a game that like actually did that? I mean, to be fair, I think Inscription does something like that, where it pulls your like profile data from Steam or something like that. Few townsfolk are about. You spy none who appear to be in distress. After! I've only just returned from our meringue. Yet I find the Crystarium moments from being beset by sin-eaters? Where are they coming from? This shouldn't be possible. We restored the darkness. Well, this is a fortunate coincidence. Brother, tell me you have some idea why this is happening. I may, but for the moment we'll need to postpone such discussions in favor of action. The Crystal Exarch is preparing to deploy a barrier around the Crystarium as we speak. Ensuring that he's able to do so should be our first concern. There are a number of instruments placed around the Crystarium that function as anchors for the barrier. I'm on my way to activate them now. In which case, 3 pairs of hands would be better than 1. Very well. I'll take the ones to the south. I'll deal with the northern apparatus then. Will you handle the western 2? They're ensconced on platforms extending from the upper level of the Aetheryte Plaza. You had to make your Steam private. Too many people from friendly streamers getting to you. Understandable. That's why, like... I mean, it's not like I get loads of people trying to add me. But yeah, that's why I'm relatively careful about what information I give out. Like, honestly, if someone was going to try and dox me, they probably could. But it's the people that don't necessarily know how to do it that I'm just not gonna make it that easy to do it. Despite having very little idea as to how it functions, it appears you've activated the device successfully. It is kind of odd that there is apparently a really, potentially stressful and significant event going on. And all we're doing is running around and interacting with a couple of things. That you have to run down this long straight to get to. Like, this isn't overly interesting as an action. Ooh. That's what protect
Sin-Eater sighted! They're coming!
used to look like. When protect was a skill that you could have as a healer.
Excellent. The barrier is holding.
That's good news for the Crystarium, but what of the rest of Lakeland?
Lena and the City Guard have taken to the field. Thancred and the others have already joined them. Let us do the same.
Oh. We ought to join the vanguard as soon as possible. The number of Sin Eaters we just saw is any indication. We'll be facing a formidable host. It may not be, but you like spending time here, and they'll run in circles and scream. This feels like what the first dungeon was trying to be. What lovely weather, just what we needed. It seems the battle has already begun in earnest. Make haste. Crystarian forces are engaging the Sin Eaters at various locations. Assist them in defeating the Eaters before they are decimated. Okay, I can't use my mount. I hear shouting. Come on!
Let's give it our all.
They need our help. You forgot what the sword they have is called. If you're talking about Alizé, it's a rapier.
Help is at hand.
This guy is just getting fucked up. Please don't die. What group am I? Those Eaters. They're heading toward Radisca's Round. We should follow. We cannot neglect those in need. I should probably dance partner with Alizé. Why does it always have to be spiders? Hey, it's the go-to.
Leave the healing to me.
I was kind of planning on it. Bad here. Shudder to think what it's like elsewhere. Timely arrival. I have my hands full here. This is quite different as a DPS than it is as a healer. Because as a healer, I can heal up all the guards. But I can't so much do that. As, you know, a dancer. Technically, I could heal slightly. But it's not like I could do much. quirk for them to get them better. Ah! I'm sure there's a mod for that. There must be a mod that adds a twerking emote. I know there's all sorts of mods, and quite a few of them are not safe for work. But if there's a strip dance or lap dance emote, there's probably one for twerking too. Nice. Everyone has made it safety, but we can't let them get past us. But I'm getting buffs? Ooh! Is it the old balance as well? Or is it the new one? I think it must be old because... No, it could be new. I guess I need to see what other stuff his cards do to know whether or not it's the old system. Because the old system would be a damage up no matter what card it is, whereas the new system is there's only 2 damage ups in the deck. These eaters are too organized. They cannot merely be acting on their instinct. No, they're very clearly not. Clearly Vor3 has got something to do with this. It's as we feared. Oh. I forgot I needed to press button. They're getting fucked up. But our task as it ever was. Turn the tide. The lives of the wounded are in our hands. Ah. Could technical finish for more damage. But honestly, I don't know that I need it. I might use it here though. Just because that's a decently sized group of enemies and there's more of them. Come on, come on. Okay, so what's the Ewer? Oh, it just wore off. Because with the current system, that is a health regen effect. Oh yeah, it's the old system if that's giving... No, actually. Is it the arrow? No, isn't the arrow, 10% stronger healing? I don't know. It's not like I'm a very good Astro. Should really be using my buffs. I just kind of forget they exist when I'm playing PvE. Which is unfortunate, because I'm pretty much always playing PvE. And you don't have buffs. Well, really, in PvP.
Let's give them a show! We can't steal!
Can you die already? There we go.
There are so many.
Captain of the Guard.
Lena, hold on. They turned on me.
Oh no. Oh. Oh no. Good boy, Thancred.
We need only hold out a little while longer. Reinforcements are coming, remember? The captain said so. We're going to be all right.
Ardbert, if you can do anything.
Damn you! The Warrior of Darkness has returned. The Bloody Knight has returned. So stay with me, eh? You can't go dying now. God damn it! Please let this work. Please let this work. Stay back! Stay back!
Help! Help!
The feeling of having to watch.
Spare me? Why? What have I done to deserve this mercy?
Without being able to have any effect.
Forward! If you can still hold a sword, follow me! Wounded to the rear! Weapons at the ready! Let's make this count!
Fight and struggle. Seek salvation by your own hands. Though the losses be grave, endure them. Though the victories be hollow, claim them.
Seems we've driven them back, for the time being at least. The wounded have been collected and are undergoing treatment now. Once they're ready to be moved, we'll have them carried back to the Crystarium. The dead as well, of course. Those whose bodies remain anyway. The others are helping to treat the wounded. I'm planning to assist in moving them. But even so, simply don't have enough hands. I'm sure you're fit to fall over after what you've been through. God knows I am. If you could see to a few of the patients, it would be enormously helpful. Captain Lena's about somewhere. She might also consider asking her if there are any other outstanding areas of need. We'll talk later. Healing them like I'm fucking Abe from Oddworld. With tear-filled eyes, the prone man gazes up at you. His fingers twitch as if to reach for you, but he lacks the strength to raise his hand. Don't touch me! I killed her! I killed her! She was one of them, I know, but I... He had to kill someone that he knew or he loved that had turned into a Sin Eater. Thank you. But it's too late. One of them, it got me. Turn. Please. Please kill me. Beg you. And you kill it again. No, as in... One of his friends got turned into a Sin Eater and then he had to kill the Sin Eater. So he killed the monster, but it's like if your parent became a zombie and then you had to kill them. Still wouldn't be a great experience. A little bit chilly. This on. Nah, you'd be a zombie with them. I mean, life as a zombie does seem simpler in a lot of ways, doesn't it? Ui. Lena. Oh. Until you rot away. Yeah. But hey, I'm basically already rotting away anyway.
Oh, I did not see you there. Is there something you need?
No, I'm fine. How are you feeling?
Injuries are part and parcel of battle. While there's breath in my lungs, I shall see my duties done. Don't pretend you're not of the same mind. You fought well today. Saved a great many lives. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Unfortunately, this war is far from over. We must replenish our ranks and shore up our defenses before they attack again. Now, if you will excuse me.
Don't you dare say you used to be an adventurer like me.
I am fine. Completely and utterly fine. Better than fine. Hale and hearty and still alive to mourn those who are not. Who I failed to protect when they needed me most.
Oh, Lena.
We've come so far, so goddamn far. I could have sworn the end was in sight, and now... Now they will never see it.
Impudent worms of the Crystarium. The tragedy that has befallen you is of your own making. Divine retribution for your defiance.
Which means you did it.
The heavens have bequeathed to you a benevolent savior, me. I offer you freedom from pain and suffering. A paradise where man and sin-eater might live in peace and harmony. Why, already, our winged brothers and sisters regard me and mine as kin, alike to them in beauty and purity. But you not only reject my prophet hand, but raise your own against my sin-eaters. It is only right that they respond in kind. Let this be a lesson to all those who would walk the path of sin. The wicked shall not inherit this world!
I'ma kill him. I look forward to when I can kill him. Where's the rocket launcher when you need one? Very true. It would be fun to just watch those dirigibles go up in flame, wouldn't it? 4-3's ship is already gone. How flattering that he came all this way just to give his little speech. I apologize for my earlier outburst. Rest assured, I have no intention of allowing any of my wounds to affect the performance of my duties. Especially not now. If I may, could I ask that you seek out Thancred and Minfilia for me? They endangered themselves on my behalf, and I would feel better knowing that they are well looked after. Thancred in particular sustained quite an injury from that sin-eater. I would not be surprised if he were in Spagyric still. Please, give them my thanks. It might... Where... Oh no, I think he's literally... in here. Yeah. This is the infirmary. You're here for me. Sorry to put you to the trouble. I'm fine, really. The Eater landed an unfortunately solid blow, but the healers here have done wonders. I'm more worried about Minfilia. She's not taking it well. Could I ask you to speak with her? My attempts to reach out seem to have had the opposite effect. She's gone on to the Hortorium, ostensibly to fetch herbs for Chesamil, but just talk to her, will you? Who the, where the, what the fuck? That's the bit. That's not the... Oh god. That's not the right level of elevation. There we go. Aw. That's no fun. This place is kind of interesting, though. Some very interesting glowing trees and plants. Perhaps a gentle poke will get her attention. Hey! Hey! Eh? Oh! What are you doing here? Tancred. It's my fault, you know. I jumped at the chance to help Lena, but I was careless. And now... it's my fault. You can make up for it by being there for him. Are you sure? Brought him nothing but trouble thus far. What if it's worse next time? All I do is make mistakes, put others in danger. I'm sure that he'll resent me, being this weak. Maybe he already does. But you're right. I can still help, if only by seeing these herbs safely to Chesamil. There are only 2 left on the list, but I'll need to ask about this one. Looked high and low, and I can't seem to find it anywhere. Would you mind collecting the other? I'd hate to delay any longer than I already have. You're looking for something with soft leaves that's very fragrant. In an unmistakably medicinal way, I was told. We only need 2 sprigs or so. Once you've got them, you can bring them directly to Chesamil. Whoever gets there first can explain the other will be back shortly. Thank you. I appreciate your help. The plant has soft leaves and smells strongly medicinal. Take my herbs. Ah, Minfilia told me you'd be bringing the rest. Elven dill. Marvelous. With this, I can replenish our stores of medicines. Struggling to keep up with the number of wounded that are being brought in. I wasn't on the field, but it doesn't matter. Patients' faces make plain that it was a horrible battle. We're still fighting it, I suppose, but with bitter medicine rather than sharp steel. But we'll win. I promise you that. Seems I owe you an apology for dragging you to yet another battlefield when you've just come off the front lines. In both cases, I'm sure your efforts saved more than a few. With Spagyrix in good working order, the Crystarium's people will be well cared for. More lie ahead, of course. Battles only you can fight. Not that we intend to let you do it alone. But that's a matter to discuss with the Exarch. You know the Exarch? We do. Was there something you needed? I need you to tell him something. For me. My dearest friend, you see. He was there on the battlefield with me. Only the one of us is here to speak of it. At the end, before the wound killed him, I heard his dying words. Never knew our sky was this beautiful, he told me. So glad that I got to see the night sky. I don't know how the Exarch feels about what happened out there. Don't know if what Vorthri said's true. If our losses were our just deserts. We doom ourselves to worse by continuing to fight this fight. But I believe in the Warrior of Darkness. In the Crystal Exarch. I don't think what they've done's wrong. And I don't think we're wrong to fight with them either. My friend. He smiled in the end. Just as he smiled when he raised his glass to celebrate the return of the night. That's how I want to remember him. So, I want to tell the Exarch, don't give up. Don't give in. Please. We'll tell him. You have my word. If you're ready, why not go on ahead to the Ocular? You can keep the Exarch company while I fetch Alphino. Don't worry, I mean to borrow the swiftest Damara I can find, so we shouldn't keep you long. Be sure to pass on that message, eh? Do you have business with the Crystal Exarch? Welcome, my friend. Tales of your heroism on the battlefield precede you, though I confess I found them more gladdening than surprising. I hear no few of our people have you to thank for plucking them from the jaws of death. Would that they had not needed saving to begin with, but the responsibility for that lies with me. One of our soldiers said that. Thank you. Rest assured that I fully intend to continue our work. I'll not shrink from what must be done. Now, least of all. Though I mourn the loss, I'll not lose myself to grief. and even should regret be my constant companion, or follow the path I have chosen to its end. We have some time before the others arrive, if you'd like to talk. If I were to confess any doubts I might harbour, no one need ever know? No, I believe you have enough burdens without my adding to them. Nevertheless, thank you.
My friends, with your aid, we have weathered a brutal assault.
Oh, hey, Emmett. Just letting yourself in now.
Sorry I'm late, though I would not have been had anyone thought to notify me in advance.
How would we contact you?
As I was saying, it was only with your aid that we weathered this assault. Without it, the Crystarium and all who dwell here would now be gone.
For each we saved, another perished. If there is anything else we can do to help, anything at all, you need only ask. This is our home too, and we want nothing more than to keep it safe.
Thank you. We are blessed to have you with us. As for the attack itself, Vorthri may call it divine retribution, but Sin Eaters are creatures of instinct. A coordinated assault is unprecedented. Moreover,
Unless
in the
he's
absence
controlling
of a
them.
Light Warden, there should have been no compulsion for lesser Sin Eaters to congregate here en masse. All of which points to a single, unavoidable conclusion.
That these minions of light answer to a higher power. He who did claim kinship with them, who did boast of control, not in idleness, 'twould seem, but in earnest. Lord Vorthri.
Indeed. What I mistook for bluster was in fact the truth. The Sin Eaters are his to command. But if he imagines this show of force would convince us to bend the knee, he is sorely mistaken.
I take it your meeting in Yulmore did not end well.
You could say that, yes. But I am wiser for the experience nevertheless. It appears he has mastered a technique which allows him to enslave the minds of others. A fact I discovered when he attempted to use it on me.
That would go some way towards explaining the peculiar reverence afforded him by his subjects. There may feasibly be a handful of true believers among them, I suppose, but it would not surprise me if the vast majority were in his thrall.
Had I not anticipated his treachery, I might well have joined them. But seeing his invitation for what it was, I sent a glamour in my stead. I rather doubt such tricks will avail me a second time, however.
Did you have any luck tracking down the Light Warden in Calusia?
Sadly, I have nothing to report on that front. What of Armorang?
After a fruitless few days scouring ruins, I resorted to asking the locals. While no one I spoke to had seen any sign of the Warden, I did uncover a possible lead. An abandoned mine in western Armorang. From what the Mord told me, it would be a perfect place to stay out of sight. Of course, I could never hope to explore such a labyrinth quickly or safely on my own, so I returned here.
Even should we all join in the endeavor, an exhaustive search could take weeks, and with no guarantee of finding anything.
The Wardens harbor vast reservoirs of primordial light, do they not? Far beyond anything found in lesser Sin Eaters.
Correct.
And isn't it true that the Oracle could see the light of a Sin Eater from miles away? Surely a warden would seem like a blazing beacon by comparison. To the real Oracle of Light, I mean. The real Menphilia. If we travel to Armoreng, to the south where she halted the flood, I could summon her back. What do you think?
Don't.
Don't what? Do what I can. What we both know is right.
Do not presume to know my mind. You have no idea what you're proposing.
But I do! I know why you never said anything. Because you thought you could keep me safe by keeping me in the dark. And maybe I thought so too. But I knew, Thancred. I always knew.
Oh, I see. I thought you were a rather underwhelming reincarnation. But it all makes sense now. The Oracle lies dormant within you, doesn't she? But to draw on her true power, you must become one, both body and soul. To wit, one being must consume the other. Who shall be the lucky winner?
This doesn't concern you, Ascian.
But it plainly concerns you. Which is why your heart is ready to burst out of your chest. Despite the raging tempest in your bosom, however, you have never once opened up to your young charge. Now, why would that be? Love. Well, I for one think it's a marvelous idea. Certainly more promising than any of your other suggestions. So, it's off to Armoreng we go.
The delivery of some of his lines.
I'll meet you at the gates.
I'm sorry to be so insistent, but I know this is the only way. If you're willing to give me a chance, come with us. Hey, sorry for the wait. I'm ready now. And you're sure you want to do this? Completely sure? Look, no matter what happens to me, I'm sure that I don't want to go back to being who I was. I want to be stronger. Strong enough to face my destiny. I want to believe that I can play a part in saving this world. I hope you can find it in yourself to believe too. When you put it that way, how could we not? It is your decision to make. Just be sure that you're prepared when the time comes. If all are assembled, shall we depart? We'll follow your lead. What route would you have us take? About that, there's something I neglected to mention. I saw a Yulmorian airship coming into land over Armoreng when I was on my way back to the Crystarium. No doubt the same vessel that bore Vorthri's forces to Raktika. Meaning we can expect to encounter armed resistance on our journey through the region. Right. Now, Nabath the Reng lies in the southern reaches of Armoreng. There are 2 routes we can take to get there. The first is the eastern route, which would lead us past Mordsuk. The other is the western route, which would require us to pass through the Hills of Amber. Ophelia and I took the eastern route last time. Yes, that's the more well-trodden path. It also makes for easier traversal with the Nabath Severance. But we can't use it. If we did, we'd need to cross the Severance from a point nearby the inn at Journey's Head. If the Yulmorians caught wind of our approach, it could very well bring them into contact with the inn and its patients. We can be sure their activities would not meet with Vorthri's approval. It will make the journey more arduous, but I believe it would be safer to take the western route. Which brings me to my proposition. While you make for the Hills of Amber in the west, I will draw the Yulmorians' attention elsewhere, to an area in the east that I know to be uninhabited. That way, you'll have a chance at reaching Nabath Reng unopposed, without risk to civilians. I cannot deny that's a sound plan, nor can I allow you to go alone. My skills will make your task at least somewhat easier, will they not? I'll accompany you as well. It will afford us a chance to have a proper conversation. And if I go with the others, I'm likely to say something Thancred will regret. Well then, we'll leave the work of distracting Vorthri's forces to you. The rest of us will take the western route and try to avoid attracting attention. They have Gandalf, they win. Fair. With that in mind, I think it best that we follow the road from the bridges. We'll move faster with a solid path under our feet. We'll borrow a few Amara for our journey. I leave the rest to you, Minfilia. Thank you. I'll try not to disappoint. Oh, okay, literally just outside. I'm sorry, what? It's Papalotl. What was the one that we saw yesterday? Shama Mama or some shit. I love some of the hunt names today. Of Shadowbringers rather. You want to ride it? It's a giant moth. I'm not sure how one would ride it. It's Papalotl. We'll need to move quickly. The longer the others need to keep the Eulmorians busy, the more likely they are to be caught. There you are, the gate leading to Armoreng's just up ahead. In all the time I've been here, I've never ventured into the Hills of Amber. Not that I'm particularly intimidated by new lands at this point, but we have more than enough reasons to be cautious as it is. Keep an eye on Minfilia for me, would you? By sitting on its back. Yeah, I suppose that'd work. Grabbing onto its antennae. Its handlebars. Off so soon, Mistress Bun. Barely had time to recover from the battle. Well, if you're certain, I'm hardly in a position to question you. And with that, we are in the other half.
Take comfort in the bonds you share. Accept the pain when the time comes to part. Press on, for joy and sorrow walk hand in hand. Beyond Mount Garik lie the Hills of Amber, beneath which run hidden veins of mineral wealth. Or ran, at least. Mayhap they are spent. Or mayhap the ringing of hammers can yet be heard below.
It's like Moria. It's an open mine as opposed to a closed mine. This place has been scarred by the flood too. Who can say what lies ahead? But whatever else this road may be, it is mine to travel. I don't plan to take a moment of the time I spend upon it for granted. Take it you're seeing what I'm seeing. Finding a village when we're hardly 10 paces into the hills is a surprising stroke of luck, especially given our recent fortunes. You won't hear any complaints from me. Let's see if the folk who live here can tell us what to expect from the road ahead. Wealth inside is a wealth inside, so fair enough. Iguana. Zun Zun. Hiya. You sell? No. No, you are no merchant. But then why do I know your face? Oh, I remember. You spent Vobert gold. Such a coin purse crackling. You are already a legend among more traders. You're a traveling merchant then. Can you tell us anything of this village? Of course. Anything for valued customers. This place is Garik, before flood, and home to many miners. After, not so many. Now, none. So Master Gengen borrowed village, made it into trading post. Very convenient location. In which case, you all must be familiar with the local roads, correct? We're on our way to Nabatha-Reng ourselves. If we continue south from here, will we have any difficulties reaching it? Oh yes, great difficulty. The flood rent stone and crushed the mines surrounding Nabatha-Reng. Only steep cliffs and collapsed tunnels remain. Oh no. But surely there must be some way. Do you think of any of the other Mord might have some sort of hidden route? Perhaps. You ask, they tell. Tell for free, even, to friends of our best customer. Wonderful. Thank you for your help. Well then, best customer, let's see what information your reputation buys us. Rill. You wish to go to Nabatha Reng? There was a way, once. Gondola down from cliffs. But it was built for those who had left something behind that they wished to retrieve. Now there's nothing left, and no one to use it. You may search for it if you like, but I doubt that its rusted wires would bear your weight. You hastily take down a memo regarding the gondola on a spare scrap of parchment. Sul. Oh, that is surprise. Not many bound for Nabatha Reng these days. I do know of a trolley that once went there. It used to travel between all the settlements and mines of the hills of Amber. It is locked behind a gate, however. I assume that will have kept it from being stolen or damaged, but also prevents it from being of much use. Gone! What the fuck are these? It's like a dumb fish creature. For Nabatha Reng, airship is best. Nothing is faster than an airship. The Yulmorians have one, I hear. You ask them to take you. Though it seems somewhat superfluous to do so, you dutifully make note of Gongon's words. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get the Yulmorians to ferry us. After! I'm afraid I've learned little of use about how to reach Nabatha Reng. The Yulmorian presence, though, that's another matter. Apparently, though their army is definitely in Armor Reng, there have been no sightings of Yulmorians at all in the Hills of Amber. Perhaps we can take that as a sign that Alizé's plan has borne fruit. Did you have any better luck finding us a route forward? So, these are our options. Well, what do you think? Gate aside, the trolley seems most feasible. It does seem to be the least risky of our options. I can't imagine one gate is enough to thwart you. I'd like to know a bit more before we dash off in search of it, though. Perhaps Zunzun can offer some some insight. If I can get my words out correctly. That would be so good. Oh, valued customer. Were the other Mord of help? Of a fashion. They told us of a trolley that runs to Nabatha Reng, at least. But am I correct in thinking there was a reason you did not do so yourself when first we asked? Yes, gates, you see. It is impossible. Before, there was a hulking thing of stone, the Talos. It opened the gate, they say. But none operate such a thing now. Do not even know yet if it yet exists. I do not know, but you should travel east to Mount Buren Mines. That is where the trolley controls stand. I still see miners there from time to time. If anyone knows what happened to the Talos, it would be them. Thank you. You've been a great help. We're off to Mount Buran then. Let's hope that someone will be there to answer our questions. Don't remember this area very much. I think I do remember the Talos part. But that's about it. The scale of the track is impressive. Give them that. Then we only need to follow it until we come to the mines. I know that there's a settlement. Oh, that must be it. I prefer this music to the Lahi. Ooh. Gnome. I must murder the gnome. Because you've been gnomed. Oh, I apparently overshot it. Bit of a mess, isn't it? But the mechanisms for dispatching the trolley are here, just as Zun said. Unfortunately, anyone who might know how to use them is not. We might wait for Zun's mysterious miners to appear, or have a look around and see if we can deduce anything useful in their absence. I'm in favour of the latter. Something near the entrance to the mines. Proper caught Uriange's eye. Meet us there if you find anything. Conspicuous cup. The cup is slightly warm, and a fair amount of tea steeped over long, if the colour is any indication, remains within. So there were people here not that long ago. Flecks of rust adorn the rails, but they nevertheless appear sturdy enough to bear the trolley without issue. Oh wait, the trolley itself. The benches within suggest that this may have been a passenger car. Oddly enough, though it is clearly old, it appears to be well maintained. Ah, what hast thou discerned? I see. Indeed, thine observations are consistent with mine own. Let us refrain from further discussion ere our comrades arrive. Ample evidence of recent maintenance. Lukewarm tea besides. The levers for switching tracks looked like they were in good condition, though I couldn't move them myself. No ordinary person could, I think. It is my belief that no person is meant to. This Talos beareth more than a passing resemblance to golems of the source. Nor doth it appear to be the sole example of its kind. The proliferation of Talos fragments, as well as the enormity of the mechanisms here, suggests a considerable number when once in operation. Alas, this specimen and its fellows now lie lifeless and broken, and I know not how to repair them that they might facilitate our passage through the gate. Without the aid of the Talos, even if thou wert somehow able to unbar the trolley's path, we would still have no means of propelling it. We might not know how to repair the Taloses, but someone must. Otherwise, why keep everything else in working order? Whoever's maintaining the cars and rails must know something that we don't. Let's ask them what it is then, shall we? After, I do believe you'll find a person of some interest skulking in the shadows behind the warehouse on the northwestern side of the tracks. While you two have a friendly chat, the rest of us will gently encourage those to the south to come out of hiding. Defend yourselves as necessary, of course, but do try to keep everyone in one piece. Off we go then. So he said behind them, right? Suspicious man! Wicked White, where'd you come from? No, never mind that. You have no business here, that I'm sure. You really need me to beat the shit out of you first? What are you? Ugh. Well, I killed a man. Is it that they're like smugglers or something? Because this looks like it would hold liquid. Probably booze. Let's switch to the armadillo bowler, because it just seems fitting, because I think you normally get it from the dungeon in this area. Good to hear. These two weren't much trouble either. Let's see what they have to say for themselves. Us? We're not the brigands come to take what isn't ours. Do we honestly look like we'd need to steal? What, some rusted bits of iron? Don't be absurd, we're not here to rob you. A likely story. You look, well... You don't look normal, that's for certain. You don't have any wares, so you're clearly not merchants. Travelers never pass this way. The only reason you'd come all the way out here is to strip the machinery for parts. Oh, Thaf, I have an idea. What if, once upon a time, a lovely lady of noble birth ventured forth in search of her lost love, joined by her two most loyal servants, sworn to follow her unto world's end? On their journey, they met a sorcerer as ancient as time itself. Moved by the lady's devotion, he offered to be their guide, and they turned up here. Somehow. I can only assume that you're being intentionally obtuse. In the unlikely event that that's a serious conjecture, no. I suppose I am a bodyguard of a sort, but we've rather larger concerns than fairy tale romances. Though I would fain hear more of this ageless sorcerer and his heroic deeds. God's grant me strength. If I may, we're actually searching for a means by which to travel to Nabatha Rang. We are hoping the trolley here might offer a solution. I've realised that we haven't gotten off to the best of starts, but if you know anything about how we might get it working again... The trolley? The trolley? You should have led with that. We're always keen to discuss the trolley. We're both engineers in training, in fact. Jarek and Thaf at your service. Technically, I'm a miner, and he does the repair work. Our true passion is the trolley. We're working with a few other folks to get it up and running again. And before you ask, yes, it's true that there's little in need of transport these days. But that's no reason to consign a miracle of mechanical innovation to dust. The mere sight of it travelling the track once again would make art soar, mark my words. We'll hear no argument from us. What progress have you made thus far? Not as much as we'd like, truth be told. Well, is there anything we could do to assist you? We could gather materials or help put pieces together? It's a sight more complicated than that, I'm afraid. If you spoke with Magnus, you'd understand. He's the only one with full knowledge of the trolley's operation. I suppose you could speak with him if you like. We'll introduce you. Very well. Our options are limited, and if this Magnus can explain whatever is preventing the trolley from being restored, I'd like to hear it. Right. Looks like you'll be following us back to Twine, then. If you're ready, we can leave right now. We can leave right now. Fuck me. Though, you haven't seen another fella around here, have you? Thought he'd have come out by now. I may have killed him. You think he'll be alright? That's, well, I suppose we did force your hand a bit. I'll have a look just in case. You go on ahead, Thaf. Alright, looks like it'll just be you lot and me then. Try not to let anything take a bite out of you on the way out of the rail yard. Yeah. Sorry for beating quite so much of the shit out of him. But in my defense, he was a little bitch. Yeah. Damn, that smarts. Did he have to thump me so hard? I'll be feeling that for the next fortnight at least. Naught to be done about it now. I've pointed your overeager companions in the right direction and they've gone on ahead. So we need to get moving. Don't lie, you liked every bit of it. Normally we walk atop the tracks, but seeing as the young lady has a much shorter stride that's more perilous a route than I'm comfortable suggesting. Wouldn't want anyone falling through the gaps. Of course, the low road presents other dangers, but having been on the receiving end of your friend's blows, I'm not worried on that account. Where are the southwest? Okay, so it's where we're headed anyway. Wait a moment. I think I hear something. Oh, that's something, all right. Run! Shivering coyote! It's about to be dead. Okay, so it's probably... Yeah. It might be on the tracks, but it's around here-ish. Probably on the tracks, if I had to guess. Oh god, he's set upon by some birds. Sorry about that. I'll admit, I didn't expect this route to be quite so fraught with danger. We're nearly to Twine though, so we should make it without further incident. I am sorry for being such a yawny fuck. I don't even feel that tired. That's the weird thing. I think part of it will be that it has been. I had a feeling I'd need to kill you. It has been, you know, a long day, and I've not been sleeping well, and all this other shit that's going on. But I really do think that it's reading stuff. For some reason, it just makes me yawn. Reading it out loud. It's a problem. I think Twine is where the bicolored gem merchant is as well. So I can get the riding map for this area. This is it. Welcome to Twine. The original dwellings were built to house those laborers tasked with building the track. Over time, miners came to seek their fortunes, and that's what made the town grow to what you see before you today. But it was still the trolley what brought them here. As you've doubtless noticed, the track goes to the very heart of the town. It was the heart of the town, back when the trolley still carried everyone home at the end of each hard day in the mines. Now there's no trolley, not much work to be had in the mines for that matter. The only residents that remain are the destitute, the delusional, and those with nowhere else to go. Or so they say. It should give you some indication of what to expect when you meet Magnus. As I said, it'll help you understand why we can't get the trolley running, just don't expect too much aside from that. Well, that's encouraging. I don't see what we have much of a choice. Let's go and meet the man. Dare I dream that this will be voiced? Who are you supposed to be? Never seen the three of you in my life. Or the four of you? Wicked white, if you're gonna bother me, at least have the damn courtesy to stand still. Methinks this one is deep in his cups. He does kind of look like a mix of Auron and Aronso, doesn't he? These are my guests, Magnus. We ran into them at the mines. They're looking for a way to reach Nabatha Rang, so they came to ask about the trolley, you see? What? There's nothing in Nabatha Rang. Not anymore. And especially not for frail little girls. Give it up. No, we must reach Nabatha Rang. I must. Ugh. You have your heart set on it. World doesn't care. The place is a ruin. Nothing more. You're not getting there in the trolley. Thing doesn't run on hopes and dreams. We're not fools. It's necessity that drives us to Nabatha Rang. If you insist that the trolley is not an option, at least tell us why. No. I'm sick of people asking me about that blasted thing. Leave me be. We'll speak outside. He only said that because he thinks I'm weak. And he's right. But I can't be. I won't be. Forever. There has to be some way. I must find it. I'm sorry, I was stuck in my own head again. It's clear that Magnus has no intention of helping us. But perhaps we should ask the other residents. They may know something of the trolley. I'll take the north side of town. Let me know if you learn anything. Thancred, art thou truly content to stand witness to fate's course? Take no part? It isn't a matter of fate, Urianger. It's about choice. I have years to decide where I stand. Ophelia spent too long in chains already. Would not shackle her again by making my hopes known. It's for her to choose what shapes her destiny will take. It's for me to stay silent, to protect her, teach her, and stand by her. That at least I can do for her. So be it. Come, let us make our own inquiries. Hey, Holden. Yeah. Speedy quick. Oh wait, no. I keep doing that. Speedy quick. Oh, there you are. You'll be pleased to know that I got a friend back home with no trouble, and he's just fine. He's a bit shaken up is all. And you? What did Magnus have to say? I did have a faint hope that your need might prompt him to action where our interest does not. Suppose that was foolish of me. I'm sorry we couldn't be of more help, though. Could at least show you the trolley car we do have here, if you like. You'd give it a stroke or two. It has some very smooth wood. You mean to say you're not giving up? Even knowing Magnus is, well, Magnus? I don't see much point in your being stubborn about it. Though, perhaps stubbornness is exactly what this situation calls for. Can't forge iron without an anvil, after all. Can't imagine that anything you try will work, but if you're certain, you can help me make preparations in the event that it does. To that end, take this toolbox. We're going to inspect the rails. I'll have a look along the tracks for anything that's in need of repair. You bring the tools and be ready to hand them to me whenever I stop to work. You've turned me into your little bitch. Not sure how I feel about that. The spot looks like it could use a bit of work. Flap him and we'll see. You open the box, revealing the proud array of lovingly maintained tools within. Brilliant. Now, if you could hand me what I need as I work, that'd be a big help. In this case, well, this bolt's loose, for one matter. We can't have that. I'll need to tighten it. You need a wrench. So this is just to check whether or not you know how to do DIY. Thank you. This one will do nicely. Now, give me one moment and... I wonder what he would have done if I'd given him the saw, though. There. Don't see any other problems here, so let's continue along the track. I might deliberately get one wrong and see what he says. There's the ether current, though. That's very nice. Okay, so we've got one more to find, which is pretty significantly to the southeast. Okay. But then we've got quite a few quest-related ones. Set down the toolbox, the muscles of your arms enjoying profound relief, and open it once again. You're quite handy to have around, you know? As to the lamp here, these aren't often necessary these days, but if we're going to do this, we might as well do it properly. And if, by some miracle, the night returns as it did in Lakeland, well, it's a nice thought. Anyhow, a bit of this post seems to have splintered. Whether its lamp is to be lit or not, we wouldn't want these little pieces of wood jabbing the next person who comes through here to do maintenance. I'll need to sand it down a bit. Take a heavy hammer. Hit it with the hammer. You have an interesting sense of humour. Now, can I have the proper tool this time? I like that I could just give him the hammer again. But okay, it's not that entertaining to give him the wrong thing. Yes, a wood file's perfect! Let me even this out. That should do it. I'll bring some varnish along next time to finish the job. Haven't spotted any other problems, so we can keep moving along now. Unless you'd like to take in the view of the tracks from here for a little bit. It's breathtaking, I know. Mining's always been a primary vocation of folks in the hills of Amber. But after a certain point, they dug up everything that could easily be reached and carried back by manpower alone. It was then that the Nabath Empire struck upon the idea of the Talos, which had been seen at work abroad. At great expense, the Nabath brought the Mistal engineers who specialised in Talos here to the hills, and wouldn't you know it, the mining industry picked right back up again. Twine itself sprung up around that time, as a matter of fact. It was named after the entwining of tales, the fruitful cooperation between the native Ronso and newly come Mistal. But that, like so much else, fell apart in wake of the flood. The Mistal left, taking their knowledge with them. It was 15 years ago that was the last of them. The folks from Daedalus Stoneworks took off for Yulmore, and now no one remains that can repair and operate a Talos. There's no use in lamenting what can't be changed. There's one more thing we need to do while we're out here. So we might as well get to it. Vultures occasionally make their nests on the track, you see, and it falls to us to remove them when they do. Creatures are angry when disturbed, which is natural, but nevertheless, a danger to anyone passing by. It's not my favourite task, to be honest with you. As you may have noticed, I'm not terribly suited to confrontation. That said, would you follow the tracks north and remove any nests you find for me? I'll keep an eye on things from there. From here, even. Oh, it won't let me just run off. Be glad gravity won't wreck me here. Yeah, you're probably right. I probably would have found some way to fall if there wasn't an invisible wall. I don't see why Minfilia couldn't have walked along the tracks, given that there's like a consistent middle part. It's not like she'd have to step between each of these slats. Thank you. That should be everything taken care of. In return for your help, I'll tell you a bit more about the trolley. Nothing that can get it started again, though, as I said. The only people who know how to repair the Talos are long gone. But when they left, the life began to bleed out of the town. The trolley's tracks rusted and its cars fell into disrepair. Now, I was born in Twine, raised there. My first word was trolley, damn it. Those were the worst years of my life. But then, about 7 years passed, Magnus and his wife returned to us. Magnus is a real proper trolley engineer, and perhaps he would never have left in the first place if he hadn't been for his son. As you're well aware, Armoreng's hardly the safest of places. And Magnus wanted his child to grow up away from its dangers. It didn't help in the end. Sin-Eaters got the boy. It's not always the way. The child had always said that someday he wanted to see Magnus's trolley running again. So in his memory, they returned to the Twine. Started fixing those rusted rails and broken cars, and it was going well for a time. Wicked White. Vultures? Are they back for revenge? Never mind. Don't want to find out. Oh, okay. I don't actually have to fight anything, though. Nice work out there. And now you know the story of the trolley. Won't do you much good without the Talos, though. If there was even a single one that still functioned, things might be different, but... well, here we are. Just 1 second. Okay. There may be a slight continuity error. From me pausing the recording. But yeah, that's good. It's nice to have someone reach out and want to meet up. Well, reach back out, but still. That's actually gone a long way to helping me feel a bit better about things right now. Anyway, down for maintenance. Not that it'll do you any good, but we do have a Talos we've been meaning to repair. I can show you if you'd like. It'd certainly be nice to hear something other than Magnus's griping for a change. Oh. Hello. Truly a most vexing state of affairs. I thought mayhap a closer examination might yield something of value. I see. The means to build Talos stone by stone are lost to us, 'tis true, but here before us slumbers a most fine specimen. Indeed, were it not for a few minor failings, it would be in working condition. Will likely require naught but a few modest repairs and a suffusion of ether. Well, if you think you can get the thing up and running, far be it from me to stop you. But what exactly do you reckon is the problem? I should stress I've performed only the most cursory of examinations, though some such arcane constructs are not wholly unfamiliar to me. As I did suspect from the first, it is a host to a network of veins through which ether floweth freely. Or so it would, were it not for several fractures which now impede said flow. How in the hells did you get all that from just a glance? I take it you've thought up a solution as well then. To bridge these fissures require a material highly conductive to ether. Once in place, I believe it will be possible to restore the Talos to life. Might I prevail upon thee to acquire that which we require? Not far beyond the walls of twine dwelleth a creature of living stone, the debitage. Full sure am I that stone from such a being would prove most suitable to our needs. Very good. I shall have Thancred and Mephilia attend to me in the remaining preparations. I spied but 3 obstructions to the flow of ether in the Talos, and thus would I ask you provide 3 stones of debitage. All else will be made ready upon thy return. Easy enough. Go kill some stuff. Bring back their shit. I do like the fact that I could fly to the inn at World's End, or Journey's End, or whatever the fuck, right now. And while there are story reasons why I shouldn't do that, there's no actual reason why I can't. Scavengers, assemble! Oh, my poor friends, left to be eaten by horrid beasts. I'm terrible about running away, but what choice did I have? No point in us all being killed, now is there? Finding someone to go in and retrieve the bodies, I mean rescue them, would absolve me of the blame, yes? If you could go to the ruins of Kelk to look for 2 moored scavengers, I would be most grateful. one more. Alright, let's go and do this Ether Current quest then. And then there'll still be 2 more quests as well. Ishk. The big cactus. Where's the other one? I'm alive? Can it be true? It's too early to celebrate. The youngest of our group is still missing. Please, you must find him. I will wait for you outside the ruins in case you need help carrying whatever is left of the poor boy. They just immediately think that their comrades are dead, huh? Oof. Does that count as a near-death experience? Can't wait to tell my friends. First, we should make a hasty retreat, yes? Cannot thank you enough for saving us. But how did you know we were here? Running away turned out to be the best choice. Not only did he escape, but he sent for help too. If he had tried to rescue us himself, we would probably all be dead by now. Better to run and scavenge another day, yes? Must remember to thank him. Ooh, it's just a little bit more to the south. But also, I don't know if I can actually get there. I think I'd need to travel along the tracks to get there. It's fine. The MSQ normally takes you to wherever... Why am I running? The MSQ normally takes you to where the ether currents you need to pick up are. Or at least close to them. Thancred and Minfilia will return ere long with the remaining supplies we require. Didst thou succeed in procuring stone from the debitage? Fine specimens, one and all. You have my thanks. We need now but wait for Thancred and Minfilia's return. From end to end, the paths by which ether may flow through the Talos have been duly mended. They but require sufficient endowment. It's not moving. Strange. The core refuseth to stir. Fear the condition of this Talos is more dire than I previously surmised. As a heart driveth blood through a man's veins, so doth the core ether throughout this massive frame. Failing its repair or replacement, the Talos cannot be restored. So it was the art after all. Thou did foresee this outcome? Well, no, not exactly. We've never gotten this far in trying to repair it, so we had no way of knowing the art was the real problem. We tried to find another in case things turned out as they are now, but... Jarek? This isn't really my story to tell. Please, Jarek, if something went wrong, maybe we can help. Alright, alright. After all you lot have done for me, I suppose it's the least I can do. Right then, the Talos. Their hearts can't be made of just any stone. You need a special sort with sufficient ethereal conductivity. Both it and the other materials used in the construction of Talos bodies are mined in the same place. That place, of course, being here, the Hills of Amber. And it was 3 years ago when she... No, I can't. I'm sorry. You'll have to hear it from Thaf or someone else. Back to the tavern, then. I don't think I'm going to get to the dungeon before we finish up today. Because I'm probably going to need to think about finishing up in the next about half hour or so. Still here, eh? You can ask again, but the answer's the same. Our trolleys are... What? God damn it, Jarek. You could at least finish so I wouldn't have to clean up your mess. Seeing how you made such quick progress in fixing that Talos and all, he's probably thinking you could help change things around here. I think you may be right. Gather your friends and I'll tell you what you want to know.
Magnus's wife was a miner, you know. Greatest prospector there ever was. When the golem heart started failing, she was the first to head out in search of more. Problem was, most of the veins ran dry ages ago, and finding fresh ones to tap's only gotten harder. But she wasn't one to be deterred. She just kept digging deeper and deeper. And then the mine collapsed. We labored day and night to clear away the rubble, but it took us 2 months to find her. To find her body. Magnus has never been the same since.
Where is he, if you don't mind my asking?
Ah, yes, well, if he's not here, there's only one other place he'd be.
Drinking with his wife. kind of sweet.
What? Oh, you again. How many times must I tell you? The trolley won't run! We'd be better off dismantling the damn thing and selling the parts for scrap. Now, piss off back to wherever you came from. And don't let me catch you around here again.
What were their names?
My son was named Skuli. My wife, Agna.
Those sound Nordic. Although I suppose Magnus is.
Them, it beats going home. Home stopped being home when I lost them. I thought to try and drown my sorrows. But somehow, the bottle's never deep enough.
No bottle is. Believe me, I know.
You've lost someone too?
Not like you. Not my own flesh and blood. I grew up an orphan, so I never really knew what family meant. Not until I met a man who offered to take me in and make me his pupil. He was a kindly soul, always looking out for me, like a father. Not that I appreciated that at the time, or anything else for that matter. But I finally had a family. And then I robbed a young girl of hers. I did my best to make amends, to offer her comfort. But the more I look back on it, the more I realize just how inadequate my efforts were. I let her down. That is why I refuse to let her legacy die. In the end, all we can do is press on, for those we have lost, for those we can yet save. And that requires your Talos. Please, Magnus. You are our only hope of reaching Nabarth Areng.
What rubbish.
She's not gone. No matter what you say or believe, she's not. We can still bring her back.
Complicated thing though, because he's grown to like you too. Full well do I know the pain of loss and how heavily it can weigh on one's heart. Nevertheless, there is but one way forward. We must needs procure a new heart for the Talos. Thaf, knowest thou any location wherein we might find the stone we require? No matter how scant the possibility, we would seize it. Told you, near all the veins we tapped dry years ago. Though, I suppose, if you really wanted to try, you may find something at Nervi's leavings. It was opened well before Talos became commonplace, which is why the mining there was never quite as deep. When you get there, look for Guthjon and tell him I sent you. Don't be surprised if he tells you the same thing. Thine assistance is most appreciated. Think it best Thancred joined thee in this search. Though he wouldst be quick to deny it, his heart is in turmoil, and his thoughts clouded. 'Twould be unwise to ignore his distress. Oh, there he is. Off to somewhere, are you? At last, we'll lead on the stone we need to power the Talos. Can't very well have you go on your own. Lead the way. I'd say we're long overdue for a good turn. I only hope the gods feel the same way. Now, Nuvi's leavings was to the south, wasn't it? Let's get going. Have you seen a charm like this before? Found it among the stones brought from the mine. A lot of workers wear these for good luck, and I expect whoever lost it's wondering where it went. It's the first time I've seen one made from cat's eye, so the owner shouldn't be hard to track down. I'd go and look for them myself, but I've got too much to do here. Would you be able to go in my place? The graveyard keeper's quite knowledgeable about charms and whatnot, so it might be worth asking him. What's that you have there? Ah, yes. Cat's eye charms like this were once used to ward off misfortune. The tradition began with the Church of the First Light, and the gem represents their patron deity. Even though no one follows the old religion anymore, some of its customs remain, especially among the miners. You don't see many this exquisite, though. I seem to remember the fellow with an eye patch kept a similar charm round his neck. Might even be the exact same one. I never caught his name, but he's not hard to miss. Last I saw of him, he was leaving to mine Nuvi's leavings with some others. Well, isn't that fortuitous? Oh, I didn't notice you there. What do you want? Where'd you get this? Gods, how could I have been so careless? It was all my sister left behind before she... Look, I'd rather not talk about it, but I appreciate you bringing this back to me. It means a lot. So that leaves one for discovery, which is somewhere down this area, and one more side quest. The way you described it, I was expecting the place to be abandoned. Perhaps our fortunes are finally improving. Though we should probably hear what Guthjon has to say before we celebrate. Assuming we can find him, that is. On me. And again. Hmm? Who are you? What are you doing here? Well, you should have listened to Thaf. You're wasting your time. This site is not as developed as the others, is it not? Surely there must be something left. I should explain. The stone you're looking for is leonine. All the Talos and the Ills of Amber are powered using them. Or were, at least, anyway. Whatever's left, if anything's too far below to be safely excavated. In the deepest reaches of the mine, we used Talos to keep the pathways from collapsing. They're still there, but they could give out at any time, which is why much of the mine's closed off. And our only option is to search the higher levels for any fragment of leonine that may have been overlooked. Suppose there may be one other way. Well, don't leave us in suspense, man. What you're asking for is a trade secret. We'll need to be duly compensated in exchange. Fine. What do you want? The other day I found a Verbert gold piece down in the mines. A bloody Verbert gold piece! Wouldn't you know it? Dropped the damn thing somewhere while I was working. Find it, and I'll tell you what you want to know. Drive a hard bargain, sir, but we'll take it. Seems we have our work cut out for us. Thankfully, I have an idea for how we might hurry things along. You do? As I'm sure you've noticed, despite the best efforts to illuminate the corridors, it's rather dark in here, meaning it will be that much harder to find a single coin hiding in the shadows. That's why I propose we use these. Sun drops. They help the eye take in more light. Why don't you start your search further in, and I'll handle this area here. I'll retrace your steps after, in case you happen to miss it. If you feel the drop's effects wearing off, I can give you more, so don't worry. You search the shadows but find nothing. That would have been too easy. Nope. Although... Ah, then it must be through here. As you search the shadows, a glint catches your eye. You turn over a rock and find the Vovot gold piece. It could have been worse. I was hoping you dropped the gold piece somewhere closer to the entrance. More fool me for thinking Lady Luck was on our side. Or maybe she is. Yours, at least. In the end, my contribution was little more than poor company. Well, couldn't have done it without your sun drops. Well, come now, Thancred. You were far more prepared for this task than I. No more than usual, I assure you. I only managed to survive the Curtin wilderness and the Imperial capital by virtue of extensive preparation. A habit of mine since childhood, and one of my few positive traits which endeared me to Louis Soir, I imagine. It hasn't been easy finding ways to compensate for my condition. Every tool and trinket has proven vital to my continued success, such as it is. Had I chosen to pursue the arcane arts rather than espionage, well, I'd rather not think on it. So long as I have the means to protect those dear to me, and to see my duties through, that's all that matters. Now, let's hurry and see that return to Guthjon. The sooner we get back to Uriandra and Minfilia, the better. You're back. Wait, does that mean... I'll be damned, you actually found it. Well, deal's a deal. I don't think this means you'll find what you're after. To be honest, I wasn't sure you could pull it off. But you did, and I'm a man of my word. Come with me. I suppose, depending on how involved the next few quests are, we might be able to do the dungeon before I finish up for tonight. But we're still like 3 or 4 quests away from the dungeon. And the dungeon itself will probably take like 15, 20 minutes. Even soloing it. Every time I step out of those mines, the sky seems to get brighter. I'd never leave them if the air weren't so stale. But you're not come here to hear my grievances. You're after Leonine. First, I have to ask, you ever heard of rockworms? Rockworms? I know them by another name, though I'm fairly certain the locals call them knockers. Aye, that they do. Whatever you want to call them, those little bastards may be the answer to your troubles. They can fit through cracks and crevices down where we could never hope to reach, and on occasion, they come back with something valuable. They dig up Leonine in the mines! It's a rare occurrence, but yeah, that said, it usually amounts to no more than a few flakes. Well, our only other option sounds tantamount to suicide, so how can we draw out these rockworms? Over by that shack, you'll find a bag full of smoke bombs. Set off a few in the mines and you'll flush them out in no time. Once they're out in the open, knock them senseless and check their backs. I should warn you, this method of mining, if you can even call it that, is used as a last resort on account of what little you like to bring back. You'll want to cover as much ground as you can if you hope to find anything of value. Assuming you do find something, bring it here and I'll have a look. We should split up if we're to cover more ground, as he suggests. If you cover these 3 areas on your map, I'll see to the parts between them. What an odd way of going about it. And not just saying, you take the east, I'll take the west. Nothing. Anticlimactic. And the last one. The air in the mines grows thick with smoke. Nearby, you hear the soft rumbling of stones. Oh, they're much smaller than I expected. Although that doesn't even... Okay. So they're coblins or doblins or whatever the fuck. I was expecting worms. Oh, yeah. I was confused why the circle on the map hadn't disappeared. Makes sense. This feels a bit... shit. I feel like I would have preferred, like, just 1 or 2 fights of larger groups. It feels like when I'm done with this quest, I will have killed like 30 of the fuckers. Which, fair enough, I suppose, is kind of the point, is that you have to kill a lot of them to get even a chance at them having this stuff. It's just not overly interesting. It's nearly over. There you are. Find anything promising? Between the two of you, I'd say you've got quite the haul. Best get comfortable, friends. It's going to take some time for me to sift through all this.
You may not remember this about Arminfilia, but prior to founding the Path of the 12, long before the Scions, she was something of a miner.
Oh, yeah.
After her father died, Flamine took her in and taught her the trade. I think they were both seeking to fill the void left by a loved one. Maybe that's why she took to it so readily.
Oh yeah, Philomene was Minfilia's adoptive
Back in
mother,
those
not
days, I spent most of my
Yoshtola's.
time in the quicksand, or some other tavern, loosening tongues and gathering secrets. Occasionally, I'd catch a glimpse of her in the street, on her way home after another hard day's work. I always felt a wave of relief when I saw she'd come back safe, along with a pang of guilt at the fact I wasn't there to support her as I should have been. Simply speaking with her more than once in a blue moon would have been a good start, but I could never bring myself to do it. Instead, I threw myself into my work and became every drunkard's best friend.
Can't imagine she thought too highly of you back then.
Not too highly, no. She once called me a wine-sodden wharf rat, which wouldn't have been half as galling had it not been so accurate. But that was a lifetime ago. Here and now I have another chance to do things right, and I will not squander it again.
Hey! Come and see what I found! You're not going to believe this.
We got some.
Tell me it's Leonine.
It is at that. You lot were born lucky. It's mostly broken pieces. But look at this.
This is a rather fine specimen.
It's been decades since we found anything approaching this big. But that's not all. There's an engraving on it.
Ah, these scratches here. They're a little hard to make out. To my beloved Magnus and Schoolie.
Oh.
Yes! Do you see? It was a gift to Magnus from his wife. She found it. She really found it. She must have spent her final hours carving this message into the stone, in the hope that he might see it one day. Those rock-backed bastards must have made off with it before we could clear a path to her. It's fate that brought you here to find this stone. No other explanation. It makes me wonder what else might still be buried in these parts.
I wouldn't believe it had I not seen it for myself. Before you set it in the Talos, would you take it to Magnus? For 3 long years, he believed she died for nothing. He must know the truth, that her sacrifice was not in vain. I'll take it straight to him, you have my word. Thank you, Guthjon, for all your help. Right then, let's not keep everyone waiting. So there's the last of the side quests as well. We could maybe do the dungeon? That's how quickly these quests go. What? Oh, it's you. If you've come to complain about the trolley, you'll find no sympathy from me. Told you before it won't run. Wouldn't listen. Oh, but it will. Now that we have this. Your name's engraved on it, along with your son's. It's a gift from your wife, Magnus. From Agna. No. No, she couldn't have. Agna. Take it. Do with it what you will. Are you certain? It would delay our plans, but I said take it. It was for you who found it. You who need it. Looking at that stone, all I can see is... Please, just leave me be. Hope you'll be there when the Talos stirs to life. I'm sure she'd want you to see it. Would you do the honors of delivering this to Urianger? Thou art returned, and with Leonine, it would seem. As promised, the Talos hath been made ready to receive its heart, thanks in no small part to Jerick, Thath, and Nymphelia. At last, we shall return time to the timeless, this sentinel of stone, that we may press on towards Nabath the Reng. Very good. Now, let us begin.
Preparations for the enchantment are complete. When the heart hath been suffused with a sufficient quantity of ether, the golem should be restored to life.
All right then. Whenever you're ready.
I mean, that looks much more hopeful. Hey.
It's working. It's working. Magnus!
You left me for this? This wretched heap of stone and rubble? This worthless pile of earth? And yet, I can't.
What troubleth thee, child?
I shouldn't be here. I don't deserve to be. I don't deserve any of the things you've done for me. I'm just a burden, helpless and hopeless. If tomorrow came and I was gone, it would be better for everyone. Thancred most of all. He'll never admit it, but I can see it in his eyes. I wish he'd just say it. Just say that he hates me, that he wishes I was dead so that she could return.
This hits different given my current situation.
None of this is thy doing, child. 'Twas I who set the oracle on her path unto the first. I who condemned you all to suffer these torments. 'Tis my sin alone, and one that will haunt me unto my dying day. Yet I dare not dwell over long on my many regrets, for the world is a tapestry of fates, interwoven and inseparable. And we who strive to better it cannot choose but make difficult decisions. For naught of worth was ever achieved without sacrifice. And thus must man ever struggle to weigh life against loss. The one for whom thou mournest beareth no grudge. Were she here, she would not suffer thee to languish in sorrow. She would tell thee to seek thine own path, thine own purpose. It is a truth which I myself was slow to learn. Yet a truth it remaineth. Thou needst but have faith, and all will be well.
His eyes looked so pained. Go to her. You fucking idiot.
Not today.
Meanwhile, in the Crystarium, he's on his voyeur shit.
To what do I owe the pleasure that is your extended stay?
Oh, to the tediousness of our hero's present endeavors. That and the insufferable abundance of light in Armorang. I should be glad to keep my distance. Oh, I'm rather fond of sleep, you know. It's a wonderful way to pass the time. Not that my compeers would agree, mind you. Always on the move, the lot of them. Like La Hebrea, constantly jumping from vessel to vessel. Such fire, such determination. So much passion, fleeting and forgotten. Come to think of it, Exarch, I don't believe I've ever seen you retire to your chambers for so much as 40 winks. However do you keep your eyes from closing? The cold shoulder. You wound me, sir. Always so guarded in our every interaction. Interactions you curiously refrain from sharing with the Scions and their champion.
And risk souring your budding relationship? I think not. Much as I dislike you, there are more useful targets for her energies. And I am not in the habit of pointing her at my enemies like a weapon.
Is that right? Fond of her, are you? You continue to fascinate me, Exarch. But tell me, who are you? The once great nation whose ingenuity gave birth to this tower was shaped by my hand. As such, I know full well the wonders it can facilitate and those it cannot.
Wait, so he...
There is nothing in these walls which could have aided you in summoning our dear friend across time and space.
He also established the Allegan Empire.
Much less in possession of her mortal flesh. Not even I could have performed such a feat.
I see. You had a hand in Allag as well. You would know what I am? I am the adjudicator of the sacred history with which you dared trifle. I am keeper of this tower's boundless wisdom. The wisdom of ages without age, of everywhere and nowhere. The great work of those who tamed the wings of time and grasped the nature of the rift. 'Tis a boon born of the sacrifice of brave heroes who gave their lives for a brighter future. I will not see their hopes and dreams squandered. The history which led us here will be unwritten. I promise you that.
Well, it seems we're both eager to fulfill our duties then.
On that much, we are in agreement.
What a cryptic way to answer. See you, Misty. Have a good night. I won't be going for much longer. Mine apologies for the delay. Minfilia and I had a private matter to discuss. Which bringeth me to the question, how didst thou find Thancred during your search? He spoke of Minfilia, of his own accord. See, it is well that he did, and with such candour. I attempted to broach the subject before. Mine intention was to ensure no words remained unspoken between them, lest tragedy intercede. A regret I myself know all too well. Alas, in the end, he refused to heed my counsel. A time will come when they must face the reality of their circumstances, but I have faith that all will go well in time. Now, let us not tarry any longer. The Talos and Nabatha Reng awaits. So, there's still 2 quests before the dungeon. Say, perhaps you could help me. As you no doubt noticed, most of Twine's miners are Ronso. There's a Mistal lad, though. Only one of his kind in the old town. His name's Kisat. Bit of a loner. Always digging by himself in places where you'd be lucky to find a few lumps of coal, never mind gems and such. I often ask him why he doesn't mine the same spots as the rest of us, but he never gives me a proper answer. Dare say he'd be more inclined to speak with an outsider, though. If you could get the truth out of him and see if anything's the matter, it would put my mind at ease. That's kind of sweet. Traveller, eh? What do you want with me? Oak? Lucky to find a couple of lumps of coal, is that what he said? Huh. Shows how much he knows. You, on the other hand, might be a better audience for my master plan. Have you ever heard of an alloy called Nabathium? It's strong, light, and resistant to heat and friction. It was one of the most valuable metals in Nabatha Rang. A lot of their jewelry was made of the stuff. Trouble is, the techniques for mixing the alloy were lost to the flood. I've been looking for a way to make my own, and my search led me to a scroll that explains the methods, right down to the last detail. After having a historian decipher it, I learned that I lacked one vital ingredient, rutabyte. That's what I'm digging for. Short of venturing into the empty, the next best option is to look for a vein here in Armorang. Of course, I'd stand a much better chance of finding one if I had help. I'd rather not have to rely on anyone from around here. Some of the Ronso miners take exception to the fact I'm Mistal. Seem to think we're not built for this kind of work. When I find that rutabyte, I'll see how wrong they are. You know, this is the first time I've said more than about 2 words to anyone in a while. I feel better for getting that off my chest. This might be a bit sudden, but I have an idea. How'd you like to see the moment I finally unearth the vein of ore? Well, what I really mean is that I need someone there to act as a witness. Otherwise, the others might think I bought a lump of it from somewhere, ludicrously expensive as it is, and I'm pretending to have dug it up myself. Will you do me this favour? You will. Thank you. Luckily, I found the perfect spot for my next dig. If my miner's hunch is correct, the ore should be waiting just below the surface. It's in Nuvi's leavings, so I'll wait for you there. No, I think we'll probably call it here. After I've done this side quest, we'll call it here for tonight, because there's still 2 quests before the quest that unlocks the dungeon, and then the dungeon itself is going to take like 15-20 minutes. So by that point, it's probably going to be like 1 in the morning, which normally wouldn't be much of an issue. But with the fact that I've not been sleeping well, and tomorrow I'm going to be meeting someone for dinner, like I said earlier, I think. So probably for the best that I'm not knackered as all fuck for that. That's what I was hoping to avoid. I'm glad that's over. How am I supposed to concentrate on my work with all these creatures disturbing me? You certainly know how to handle yourself, though. That fiend never stood a chance. I dread to think what would have happened if you hadn't shown up. Hopefully nothing else will try to get between me and my dream. Many thanks, my friend. And that is all of the side quest ones, because the last part of that will come from the MSQ, and the one thing that I can discover is in an area that I can't get to until, I think, after the current MSQ quest. I think that's the one that sends us over so that we can get started with it. But yeah, I'm going to call it there, and we'll be back on Friday, where we'll definitely do the next dungeon and unlock Flight here, and I think we will unlock the second half of Kalusia, where Yulmore is, and maybe even get a chance to unlock the last of the allied societies, which would be good. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Have a good one. Later.